When we talk about the struggle to buy a home, our minds usually jump straight to one group, first home buyers. But what if I told you there's this other kind of invisible group facing the exact same struggles, but without the same safety net? Okay, let's get into it. So, we're going to kick things off by challenging a really common assumption about who really needs a helping hand to get back on the property ladder. Just take a second and picture it. When you think of someone needing help with a deposit or getting government grants, who pops into your head? Probably a young couple, right? Saving every penny for their first place. That's the image we all have. And here's where it gets really interesting. All the focus, all the headlines, they're on first home buyers. But the reality is, there's this growing group of people, divorcees, who are trying to get back into the housing market. They're starting over, and honestly, they're often completely forgotten in this whole conversation. So let's dive into the financial side of things because it's a uniquely difficult situation. The source material calls it a financial reset, and that phrase just hits the nail on the head. I mean, think about it. This isn't just about saving up a deposit again. A divorce can just totally upend someone's financial world. Any equity you had in a home, it gets split. Your savings, poof, often gone. And your borrowing power as a single person is suddenly a fraction of what it was as a couple. And on top of all that, your confidence can be at an all-time low. And this slide, well, this shows the systemic problem, the real catch-22. Even though they're in a super similar spot financially to a first home buyer, divorcees are often locked out of all the support. And why? It's a technicality. Because they've owned property before, they get nothing. No first homeowner grant, no stamp duty help, no access to those big federal schemes. They're just stuck in this weird limbo. This quote from the source material just puts it so perfectly. It really captures the whole problem, doesn't it? They are facing the exact same mountain, but they're told to climb it without any of the gear that everyone else gets. So what can you even do? Well, the solution isn't just about finding more money. It actually starts with a huge shift in approach. Let's take a look at what that pathway can look like. This is where having an expert in your corner is absolutely vital. For a mortgage broker helping someone in this situation, it's not about crunching numbers, not at first. It all starts with empathy, just listening and understanding what they've been through. Then you can start to reframe the conversation, move it away from what's been lost and towards what's actually possible. Okay, so now let's get into the practical side. What kind of innovative support can actually make this new beginning a reality? The key solution that gets talked about is a model called shared equity. Now, don't let the financial term throw you off. It's actually a simple idea. Think of it like a partnership. A company helps you with a chunk of the purchase price to get you over that deposit hurdle. In return, they own a small share of your home, which you can then buy back over time. The benefits here are just huge. First, it massively lowers the deposit you have to save. Second, it often gets rid of lender's mortgage insurance, or LMI. You know, that extra insurance you have to pay the bank if your deposit is under 20%. That can save you thousands of dollars right there. And third, it's a structured system, so you're not going on this journey all by yourself. So the most important point here is that this directly attacks the single biggest roadblock, the deposit. It helps break down that massive financial wall that keeps so many people out of the market after a huge life event. And this is the real game changer, 2.5%. That's it. Instead of needing to save up a massive 20% deposit while also trying to rebuild your entire life, this kind of model makes getting back into the property market possible with just a tiny fraction of that. It turns what feels like an impossible dream into something you can actually do. But look, the impact of this kind of support goes so much deeper than just the money. It's about restoring something far more important. This quote from the CEO of Home Affordability Solutions really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? Providing a way back to home ownership, it isn't just about buying property. It's about giving back a sense of stability, dignity, and hope for what's next, especially for people who feel like the system has completely left them behind. At the end of the day, that's the real takeaway. Guiding someone through this process is really about helping them rebuild their life. It's about providing that security and stability that having a home represents, so they can finally, confidently, start their next chapter. And that really leaves us all with the bigger question to think about. As our lives and families change, how do we make sure our support systems change too? How do we ensure that everyone, whether they're just starting out or completely starting over, has a fair shot at finding their way home?